Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Loon and Nate, and I am if we've never met before, I'm a person who studies, teaches, practices Reiki, and really a variety of healing arts modalities, kind of falling into the realm of self-help, self-development, certainly spiritual sciences. I like to work with both hemispheres of the mind and play between the left and right. A little ambidextrous here. And I love and am honored to create these videos that are hopefully relaxing. The overall goal of these is to really just put something out there that can be beneficial to the, if you find it beneficial. To give an opportunity to self-reflect, to direct your own energies, as in your mind, your focus. Where's your focus going? Some brain candy to chew on. And at the same time, if you're open to the concept of energy work by proxy, that's an element of what I'm doing. Of course, it only works if you're consenting and choose to accept. Otherwise, you can just tune into it as you see fit. But we do a lot of cord cutting. Well, first let me say, this video is the one that I'm creating for the season of Gemini. So happy birthday, Gemmy babies. Love y'all. I'm a Venus Gemini, and I really love the Gemini energy. So we do a lot of cord cutting on this channel. People really like it as an ASMR trigger, and as it's something I do in my practice for others and for myself, I've learned to sort of take it more seriously. What I mean by that, I'm in video format and BIPOXy, open to the collective format, because there's a certain way I was trained to do it, then there's some adaptations that I created in my personal practice. But with the evolution of how communities are formed online and through these, channels together, and YouTube and streaming and like all these different things, energy work can travel. Energy work is beyond time and space and holds no limitation. So I've learned to take it more seriously when I do the cord cutting, because at first it was a little awkward, and then it became more intentional, more what's the word? More familiar, I guess, to do it this way, but it is very effective. So for the purpose of our Gemini season, I think a major theme that's playing out right now, and it's something that we cover certainly in Reiki 2, by the way. If you'd like to take classes with me, that information is below. But the concept of cord cutting, I don't know if I've ever fully explained this on this channel before. Maybe I've mentioned tidbits here and there, but cords are formed from emotional, two people having an emotion. It doesn't have to be the same emotion. It doesn't necessarily have to be a good emotion, but it's an emotional current that sort of begins this dynamic, and the cord is what holds the dynamic of a relationship. So what we're going to be doing in our session today is not only a cord cutting and cord treating procedure, but also a little chat here to let you know that if you really want to bring a new dynamic into your relationships, or a specific relationship for that matter, there are some things to keep in mind. If this is truly a cord cutting that you're looking for, my greatest advice to you is to go no contact. You need time to not have an emotional reaction toward this person for your cord, the container, the vessel of your present dynamic to fully die out. I don't know how, it's not really a lovely way to talk about cords and stuff, but to really evaporate and be gone, and not the dynamic. You can form a new dynamic then once that is gone. And a lot of people do cord cutting, and then they go online and they look them up on social media, and then they have a feeling, and that cord is reformed and that same dynamic is contained within that. There's not enough time given. So if you really want to do cord cutting with people, you have to, in my humble opinion, I don't love to use absolutes like have have to, I don't want to be bossy to you, but my advice is you need to go no contact. You need to give yourself the best opportunity to not have an emotional reaction toward the person that you're cutting this cord with. And it doesn't cut them out of your life forever. What we're killing is the dynamic contained in the cord. A new cord can form, hopefully more respectful, more healthy, vibrant, vital, if it even needs to be formed at all. Now for cord treating, now let's say this is a person that, let's say it's your present partner and it's a toxic dynamic that you have developed. The reactions haven't been there to support a healthy communication perhaps, or holding boundaries with one another, or whatever it might be. In that case, but you live together and you're going to see them. I can't go no contact. I work with this person. I have to see them. That's what we're going to be addressing today. More of a opportunity, a reminder that you have an incredible influence over the relationships that you have. We can't control how other people respond, but by us changing our response, it's almost scientific, or I don't know the right word for it, but like proven fact, they will respond differently. It might not solve the problem in all cases, but a lot of the times it really, either way, you can shift the dynamic of this relationship to be more supportive, no matter what that means. So we're going to be doing cord treating today. All of that to say. And this is about holding accountability for yourself, accountability for what you contribute to relationships. And after today, or after you do this session, you need to implement, again, I hate to speak in absolutes to you, but hear me with your heart, of course. A new reaction needs to be implemented. Watch your tone, how you talk to people. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're responding from a place of how you truly want to respond, not an emotional, let's say, reaction or something along the lines of that. This is such a huge lesson for me in my relationships. I don't mean to be arrogant, but this is really something I learned a good while ago. And again, don't mean to be arrogant, but I can confidently say in my present relationships and my last few relationships, my response, I can't say every time, right? But like my response has been more grounded, more intentional, more deliberate. And in a sense, I don't mean to say manipulative in like a nasty, trying to control the situation way, but I'm manipulating the dynamic. I'm aware that what I contribute to this dynamic manipulates the dynamic, has an effect on it. And I'm able to create great relationships, even with like, you know, exes. Particularly my son's dad. We have a great relationship, very respectful. And even though, you know, I'm divorced and people can look down on that perhaps, it's one of my greatest flexes to have a great relationship with my son's dad and co-parent so well, and still be rooting for one another, still be family in a sense, but have healthy boundaries as well. And just it's a flex. It's a flex. So I've prepared a little preparation video for you that I'm going to insert. But here I'm taking a black spell breaker candle. It's not necessarily that we're trying to break a spell, but I thought it would be appropriate. And I'm just going to be melting a little bit into this candle holder that you see. Here are three candle holders, three spaces for candles with a vessel in the center. So one of these candles represents you, one of these candles represents the other person, and one of these candles represents the dynamic, the trifecta here of you and whomever you might want to focus on, or excuse me, the relationship that you'd like to focus on, the dynamic you'd like to focus on in this cord treating session. As we place them in, we're setting intentions on behalf of the highest and greatest good and perfect comfort and alignment with respect to all. This is not, again, to manipulate in any negative, controlling, any overpowering of other people's will. That's certainly not what we're doing. We're taking accountability and we're acknowledging the fact that we have a tremendous personal power, personal influence over our relationships, whether that's walking away from them, whether that's a new approach, whether that's listening with your heart, giving people space, giving people grace, expressing your own needs, whatever the case may be. But we're going to work on the established dynamic, clear the established dynamic, or at least clear what is not working, and fill this vessel, this connection, this channel between you and this relationship with all that would serve, all that is benevolent, supportive, respectful of both parties. If you don't have someone specifically in mind and this is something you'd like to work with just in general in your relationships, I think that's a great idea. The candle that here I'm saying represents the other person could simply represent people in your life. We're going to take a piece of paper, burning the edges, and write down these words. Dynamic is clear. I call in personal influence to shift benevolently. All right, so we have this prepared here. I don't know if you could see it, but we'll be lighting it soon. Some people in Patreon commented on my banana shadow here. And now I can't unsee it. Let's do a little accessing. If this feels significant for you, I would recommend taking a pause and watching another video first, or doing a guided meditation, taking a shower, a bath, something for you to feel like you are preparing your energy for this and holding reverence for this ceremony. I will leave a recommended video below out of my catalog, but of course it doesn't have to be from my catalog. And what we're doing with this athame, which is very dull, I promise I'm being careful, I don't mean to freak you out. We're just going to set an intention to access the cord that you have, which holds the dynamic that you are focusing on. If you haven't yet, I invite you to focus on either a specific relationship or relationships in general. And if that's the case, we're looking to access the main channel, the main point of reaction and sending and communication and engagement of the dynamics that flow in all areas of your life. Setting an intention to access this space. And we're just going to lightly move through the auric field, the etheric body. Revealing this space. There seems to be a little chaos in this cord. Just from the outside noises. And sometimes just witnessing that chaos in the cord, or in any witnessing in general, helps to dispel it, disperse it, release it. those candles, and I'm sorry I can't bring them over here to you, but they're not terribly secure to like be moving around. I don't want to risk it. So you, the outside of you, and the dynamic. One, two, three. We're going to take our paper, which again says the dynamic is clear. I'm calling in personal, or I call in personal influence to shift benevolently. A little general. And we're going to burn this. And with that access point, we're just going to make little clips first, just down, just perforating that cord. And then how that affects you. And like your spiritual connection in any sense, or to channel more of your spiritual connection into the relationship dynamic, how that affects, or if there's any, forgive the word here, but toxicity held in the inner mind, the memory, the replaying, well, you didn't do that, or whatever, the scorekeeping. And also, let's allow that space to fill your thoughts, your inner movie screen, your mental movie screen, with all the good things and all the possibility and all the potential. And we're again just perforating your thoughts and your communication, clearing any toxicity or allowing toxicity to release, really. And empowering the space to speak effectively, to soften your tone perhaps, or maybe speak up more depending on your personal circumstances, of course. Your heart, your desires, your needs. Are you putting them all on the back burner? Are you expressing that? Are you honoring your inner child? Are you connecting with that fullness of love and acceptance and non-judgment in your relationships? Solar plexus, your sense of self, is it imposed on? Is it manipulated? Is it like we go into these characters almost when we're with certain people? And let's bring in authenticity. Let's bring in calling to action, care and love. Express love, not just vocally, but like through your actions, through your kindness, through your gestures, favors, touch. Sacral, big one here. Clearing any toxicity, any neediness, any codependence, any rejection, any apathy. And just forming those beautiful connections that you have with others. The fulfillment, the joy, the roots, focusing on your safety, your body connection, a little bit of sensuality here perhaps, if that plays in certain relationships, not all of course. Feeling safe, feeling heard, feeling supported. And manifesting a beautiful real life here relationship, right? Or romantic, platonic, whatever it might be. Okay, so we have our little preparations. I'm going to use an oil. I think a spray. And you know I like you because I only have a little left of this. I have to get one. Here we have a secret coupon. A secret coupon. To just send in. Moving through, channeling through that chord, that dynamic, every opportunity to shift. We are released, release, 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 release. We are taking in respect, communication. I don't want to say sympathy as in feeling sorry, but you know, empathy of sorts. Sovereignty, independence, trust, moving through you, 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 through you. Gonna just blend through that chord and soothe and smooth, mending that auric field. Not that we did any damage, right? But just really empowering it. Seeing this glow, this sparkle, this glitter, these little fragments of light and rainbows moving through the dynamic of the chords that you have, that you hold, that are important to you or that you have chose to address. And it's such a powerful place to hold this grace. You'll never regret. I mean, personally, in my opinion, right? Again, these absolutes here. But you'll never, in my opinion, regret speaking in kindness, hearing someone out, being empowered in your actions and what you contribute. You'll never be mad at yourself for holding yourself accountable. I don't want to do too much work. I feel like this is a very powerful process in and of itself. I'm going to let these continue to burn as long as I can watch them. And then I will continue to burn them until they go out. But they'll go out and I'll put them back on. But these are certainly going to continue working with on your behalf, on all of our behalf. I'm sorry this has to be a little short and sweet because I really just wanted to focus on just this element. More to come. Thank you for allowing me to support you in this way. If it does support you, thank you for being here in general. If you would like to join my Patreon, I'll put the links below. I appreciate it so very much. It's so helpful. From the very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine in you. And I into the sovereign beings that we are, the conscious communicators, the beautiful holders of boundaries that we are, and these lovely relationships that we get to form, even by proxy. So much love to you. Wishing you the very best.